Jasmine Walker sat at the back of her classroom on a sunny Monday morning. She was 16 years old and known for her beautiful hair. Every week, she would style her natural hair in different ways. Today, she wore it in neat braids with colorful beads at the ends. The beads made soft clicking sounds when she moved her head. Jasmine was quiet but smart. Her teachers liked her because she always did her homework. Her friends liked her because she was kind and always ready to help. But not everyone at Lincoln High School was nice to Jasmine. Marcus Davis was the most popular boy in the 11th grade. He played on the football team, and many students wanted to be his friend. But Marcus had a mean side. He often picked on students who were different. Since middle school, he had made Jasmine's life hard. "Hey, hair girl," Marcus called out whenever he saw her. He would make fun of her accent, which had hints of her parents' Jamaican roots. He laughed at her clothes, which were not as fancy as what the rich kids wore. But most of all, he mocked her hair. On this Monday, Jasmine was trying to focus on her math lesson. Numbers were easier to understand than people sometimes. Mr. Johnson, their math teacher, was writing equations on the board. The class was quiet except for the scratch of pencils on paper. Then Mr. Johnson's phone rang. "I need to step out for a minute," he said. "Principal Roberts needs to see me. Keep working on these problems until I return." As soon as the teacher left, the class got noisy. Some students started to chat. Others checked their phones. Jasmine kept working on her math problems. She didn't notice Marcus looking at her from across the room. She didn't see the mean smile on his face or the small bottle he took from his backpack. She didn't know what he was planning until it was too late. Marcus walked slowly toward the back of the room where Jasmine sat. His friends watched him, waiting to see what he would do. A few students noticed and went quiet, but no one stopped him. When he reached Jasmine's desk, he stood behind her chair. She was so focused on her work that she didn't feel him there. Then, in one quick move, Marcus opened the bottle and poured the clear, sticky liquid all over Jasmine's hair. The cold feeling made Jasmine jump. "What?" she said, touching her head. Her fingers came away sticky. The smell hit her nose, sharp and chemical. "Super glue." "Your hair needed some help staying in place," Marcus said with a laugh. His friends joined in, pointing and giggling. Jasmine's eyes filled with tears. The glue was already hardening, making her scalp feel tight. Her beautiful braids were stuck together in clumps. Some of the glue ran down her neck and onto her favorite blue shirt. "Why would you do this?" she asked, her voice shaking. But Marcus just walked back to his seat, high-fiving his friends along the way. The other students stared. Some looked sorry for Jasmine, but no one helped her. One girl took out her phone and started recording. When Mr. Johnson came back 5 minutes later, he found Jasmine crying at her desk. The glue had hardened even more, making a stiff mess of her once beautiful hair. "What happened here?" Mr. Johnson asked, his face serious. Before Jasmine could answer, several voices spoke at once. Marcus poured glue on her hair. It was just a joke. She's overreacting. Mr. Johnson looked at Marcus, who just shrugged. "It's not a big deal," Marcus said. "It'll wash out." But Jasmine knew better. Super glue wouldn't just wash out. Her mother spent hours each weekend helping her care for her natural hair. Now it was ruined. As the school nurse was called, Jasmine wondered how she would face everyone tomorrow. She didn't know that this terrible moment would lead to something that would change not just her life, but the whole school. The school nurse, Ms. Garcia, tried her best to help Jasmine. She gently dabbed at the glue with a wet cloth, but it had already hardened like plastic. Every time she touched Jasmine's hair, Jasmine winced in pain. "I'm sorry, honey," Ms. Garcia said. "This is serious. We need to call your mom." Jasmine's eyes filled with fresh tears. Her mother, Diane Walker, worked 2 jobs to take care of their family. Taking time off work would cost money they didn't have. The school secretary called Diane, who arrived 30 minutes later, breathing hard from rushing. When she saw Jasmine's hair, her face changed from worry to anger. "Who did this to my daughter?" Diane asked, her voice firm but controlled. Mr. Roberts, the principal, cleared his throat. "A student named Marcus Davis. We have him in my office now. His parents are on their way." Diane nodded, then turned to Jasmine. "Let's go home and see what we can do." The ride home was quiet. Jasmine could feel her mother's anger and sadness. When they got to their small apartment, Diane led Jasmine to the bathroom. "Let's try olive oil first," Diane said. "It might soften the glue." For the next 2 hours, they tried everything. Olive oil, peanut butter, nail polish remover, and special shampoo. Nothing worked. The super glue had bonded completely with Jasmine's hair. "Mom, it hurts," Jasmine said as Diane tried again to comb through a section of hair. The beads were stuck at odd angles, and some of the glue had reached Jasmine's scalp. Diane put down the comb and sat on the edge of the bathtub. She took Jasmine's hands in hers. "Baby, I think we need to cut it." Jasmine's heart sank. Her hair wasn't just hair to her. It was part of who she was. She had spent years growing it, learning to care for it, and wearing it with pride. Now it would be gone because of a bully's cruel joke. "All of it?" Jasmine asked in a small voice. "Most of it," Diane said softly. "The glue is everywhere. But hair grows back, Jasmine. And no matter what, you are beautiful." Jasmine cried as her mother got the scissors. Carefully, Diane began to cut away the ruined braids. Clumps of hair fell into the sink and onto the floor. With each snip, Jasmine felt like she was losing a piece of herself. "Marcus is a fool," Diane said as she worked. "He did this because he's small inside. Remember what Grandma always says. Your crown may fall, but never your dignity," Jasmine whispered. Her grandmother had come from Jamaica with nothing but hope and strength. She had taught Jasmine to be proud of her roots, her culture, and her hair. When Diane finished cutting, Jasmine looked in the mirror. Her once full head of hair was now patchy and short. Some areas were cut almost to the scalp where the glue had been worst. She barely recognized herself. "I can't go back to school like this," Jasmine said, touching the uneven patches. "You have to go back," Diane said firmly. "If you hide, Marcus wins. He wants you to feel ashamed, but you have nothing to be ashamed of." That night, Jasmine couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about facing everyone at school. The laughing, the stares, the pictures that would surely end up online. Her phone kept buzzing with messages from friends who had heard what happened. She ignored them all. Around midnight, Jasmine got out of bed and went back to the bathroom. She stared at her reflection again. The bathroom light showed every uneven patch, every place where the glue had damaged her scalp. "Your crown may fall, but never your dignity," she repeated to herself. Jasmine opened the drawer and took out the scissors her mother had used. With shaking hands, she began to cut more hair, evening out the patches her mother had left. She wasn't a hairdresser, but she worked slowly and carefully. When she finished, Jasmine had given herself an extremely short haircut. It wasn't pretty, but it was even. She no longer looked like someone who had been attacked. She looked like someone who had made a choice. As she swept up the hair from the floor, Jasmine felt something shift inside her. She was done being a victim. Tomorrow would be different. Tomorrow, she would show Marcus Davis and everyone else that she was more than her hair. Much more. The next morning, Jasmine woke up early. She had barely slept, but she felt strangely calm. She got dressed in her favorite yellow top and jeans. Then she looked in the mirror again. Her short haircut looked better in the daylight. It showed off her face, her high cheekbones, and her big brown eyes. Jasmine's mother came into her room with a small bag. "I stopped at the store on my way home from my night shift," she said. "I got you something." Inside the bag was a beautiful head wrap in bright African prints. "You don't have to wear it," Diane said. "But if you want to, it's here." Jasmine touched the soft fabric. "Thanks, Mom," she said, but after a moment of thought, she put the head wrap aside. I think I'll go like this today. I'm not hiding." Diane smiled proudly. "That's my girl." Before leaving for school, Jasmine did something she had never done before. She went to her computer and looked up the school's rules about bullying. She read them carefully, then printed out several pages. She also checked her phone, where she found messages from classmates who had posted videos of the glue incident online. Jasmine saved those videos and took screenshots of the posts. Then she put everything in a folder. She was no longer just sad or scared. She was ready to take action. Walking into school that day was the hardest thing Jasmine had ever done. As soon as she entered the hallway, people started to stare. Some students whispered to each other. Others pointed openly. "Oh my God, look at her hair. She looks like a boy. Marcus really messed her up good." Jasmine heard it all, but she kept walking with her head high. She went straight to her locker, where her best friend Tasha was waiting. Tasha's eyes widened when she saw Jasmine's hair. "Wow," she said. "You look different." "Good different or bad different?" Jasmine asked. Tasha smiled. "Good different. Strong different. I like it." Just then, Marcus and his friends turned the corner. They stopped when they saw Jasmine. Marcus had expected to see her hiding under a hat or maybe even staying home. He hadn't expected to see her standing tall with her new short hair, looking right at him. For a moment, Marcus seemed confused. Then he smirked. "Nice haircut, Baldy," he said. His friends laughed, but the laugh sounded forced. Something was off. Jasmine wasn't acting like a victim. "Thanks," Jasmine said coolly. "I have you to thank for my new look, and for what's about to happen next." Before Marcus could ask what she meant, Jasmine walked past him toward the principal's office. Tasha followed her, carrying Jasmine's backpack. In the principal's office, Mr. Roberts was surprised to see Jasmine so composed. He had expected tears and drama. Instead, Jasmine sat down and opened her folder. "I've been doing some research," she said. "According to our school's anti-bullying policy, what Marcus did is called assault. It's not just against school rules, it's against the law." Mr. Roberts shifted uncomfortably in his chair. "Now, Jasmine, that's a very serious accusation." "I have serious evidence," Jasmine replied. She showed him the videos and posts that students had shared. "And I have a doctor's note about the chemical damage to my scalp from the super glue." Jasmine had gone to a free clinic that morning before school. The doctor had been angry about what happened and had written a detailed medical report. "I'm not asking for Marcus to be arrested," Jasmine continued, "but I am asking for real consequences, and I want to talk to the whole school about bullying." Mr. Roberts was surprised by Jasmine's calm determination. This wasn't a crying victim, but a young woman standing up for herself. "And one more thing," Jasmine added. "Those students who recorded the incident and posted it online without helping me, they're part of the problem too." As Jasmine laid out her case, the secretary knocked on the door. "Mr. Roberts, Marcus Davis's parents are here." "Again. And they sound upset." Mr. Roberts nodded. "Send them in. I think they need to hear what Jasmine has to say." Jasmine took a deep breath. Stage 2 of her plan was about to begin. She wasn't just going to get justice for herself. She was going to change things for everyone who had ever been bullied at Lincoln High. Marcus's parents walked into the principal's office. Mr. Davis was tall and wore an expensive suit. Mrs. Davis had perfect hair and many gold rings. They looked angry. "This has gone too far," Mr. Davis said. "It was just a harmless prank. Boys will be boys." Jasmine sat up straighter. She had been afraid of this moment, but now she felt strong. "Harmless?" she asked quietly. She turned so they could see all of her head. "I had to cut off most of my hair. The doctor said I have chemical burns on my scalp. That doesn't sound harmless to me." Mrs. Davis looked uncomfortable. She hadn't expected to see the real damage her son had caused. "Look," Mr. Roberts said. "I've seen the videos. Multiple students recorded what happened. There's no question that Marcus poured super glue on Jasmine's hair on purpose. Videos. Mrs. Davis asked. What videos? Jasmine opened her phone and showed them. The video was clear. It showed Marcus sneaking up behind her and pouring the glue. It showed him laughing afterward. It showed Jasmine crying. Mrs. Davis put her hand over her mouth. Mr. Davis's face turned red. According to school policy, Mr. Roberts said, this kind of behavior calls for suspension, maybe even expulsion. Expulsion? Mr. Davis shouted. That will ruin his chances for a football scholarship. Your son ruined my hair and hurt me, Jasmine said. Actions have consequences. Just then, there was another knock at the door. Jasmine's mother walked in. She had taken time off from both her jobs to be there. Sorry I'm late, Diane said. She looked at Marcus's parents. I wanted to meet the people who raised a boy who would hurt my daughter like this. The room was tense. No one spoke for a moment. We didn't raise him to hurt anyone, Mrs. Davis finally said. She looked at her husband. Did we? Mr. Davis seemed less sure now. He looked at the video again, then at Jasmine's short hair. Where is Marcus? Diane asked. In the waiting room, Mr. Roberts said. I thought we should talk first. I want to see him, Jasmine said. Everyone looked surprised. Mr. Roberts called his secretary, and a minute later, Marcus walked in. His usual cocky smile was gone. He looked nervous. Sit down, Marcus, Mr. Roberts said. Marcus sat as far from Jasmine as possible. Do you have anything to say to Jasmine? Mrs. Davis asked her son. Marcus looked at the floor. Sorry, he mumbled. Sorry for what? Diane pressed. Be specific. Marcus shifted in his seat. Sorry I put glue in your hair, he said a little louder. Why did you do it? Jasmine asked. It was the question she had been wondering about since yesterday. Marcus shrugged. I don't know. I thought it would be funny. Is it funny now? Jasmine asked. Now that you might be expelled. Now that my hair is gone. Marcus finally looked up at her. No, he said. He actually looked sorry. I've been thinking, Jasmine said. I don't want Marcus to be expelled. Everyone stared at her in shock. What? Her mother asked. Jasmine, after what he did. Expelling him won't fix anything, Jasmine explained. It won't help my hair grow back. It won't stop other bullies. It will just make Marcus angrier. She turned to face Marcus directly. Instead, I want him to help me start an anti-bullying program at school. I want him to work with me on it for the rest of the year. Marcus looked confused. Work with you? Why would you want that? Because you're popular, Jasmine said simply. People listen to you. If you tell them bullying is wrong, they might believe it. Mr. Roberts looked thoughtful. That's an interesting idea. Instead of punishment alone, we could focus on education and change. Plus, Jasmine added, I think Marcus should pay for me to see a hair specialist. The doctor said I need special treatment for the damage to my scalp. Mr. and Mrs. Davis looked at each other. Then Mr. Davis nodded. That's fair, he said. We'll pay for whatever treatment you need. So what happens now? Marcus asked. He seemed genuinely confused by Jasmine's reaction. Now, Jasmine said, we start changing things together. No one in that room realized it yet, but this unusual agreement would soon change Lincoln High School in ways none of them could imagine. News about Jasmine and Marcus's unusual agreement spread through Lincoln High School like wildfire. By lunchtime, everyone was talking about it. Some students thought Jasmine was crazy for wanting to work with the boy who had hurt her. Others thought she was brave. Jasmine sat with Tasha and their friends in the cafeteria. She could feel people staring and hear them whispering. Just ignore them, Tasha said. They'll find something else to talk about next week. I don't want them to stop talking about this, Jasmine replied. I want them to keep talking about bullying and why it's wrong. After school that day, Jasmine had her first appointment with the hair specialist. Dr. Bennett was a kind woman who specialized in hair loss and scalp problems. She examined Jasmine's head carefully. The good news is that your hair will grow back, Dr. Bennett said. The bad news is that it will take time, and you'll need special treatments for the chemical burns. Jasmine nodded. She had expected this. How long until my hair grows back? She asked. About a year to get back to the length you had, Dr. Bennett said. But in 3 months, you'll have a nice short style. On her way home, Jasmine thought about everything that had happened. She took out her phone and started making notes about the anti-bullying program. She had many ideas, but she needed help to make them work. The next day, Mr. Roberts called Jasmine and Marcus to his office again. I've spoken with the school board, he said. They like your idea about an anti-bullying program. They've agreed to let you start a club, but you'll need a teacher to help you. I think Ms. Wilson would be perfect, Jasmine said. Ms. Wilson taught English and was known for being fair and kind to all students. Marcus sat quietly during this conversation. He still seemed confused by Jasmine's actions. Why are you doing this? He finally asked her. You could have gotten me kicked out of school. You could have ruined my life. That's what bullies do, Jasmine said. They try to ruin lives. I'm trying to save them, including yours. Marcus didn't know what to say to that. Later that day, Jasmine and Marcus met with Ms. Wilson. She was surprised by their strange partnership but agreed to help them. What do you want to call this club? Ms. Wilson asked. How about Stand Together? Jasmine suggested. Because that's what we need to do to stop bullying. Ms. Wilson smiled. I like it. When do you want to have your first meeting? Next week, Jasmine said. That will give us time to make posters and tell people about it. Who's going to come to a club run by me and you? Marcus asked. He still didn't believe this could work. You'd be surprised, Jasmine said. People want to talk about these things. They just need a safe place to do it. That weekend, Jasmine started a social media page for the Stand Together Club. She posted a picture of her new short hair, along with her story. She was nervous about sharing something so personal, but she pressed the post button anyway. By Sunday night, her post had hundreds of likes and shares. Other students from Lincoln High started sharing their own bullying stories. Even students from other schools joined in. On Monday morning, Jasmine walked into school feeling both nervous and excited. She had printed posters for the club, and she and Tasha started hanging them in the hallways. To Jasmine's surprise, Marcus showed up to help. He didn't say much, but he hung posters and handed out flyers. During lunch, Jasmine saw something that made her stop and stare. Marcus was sitting with his football friends, and one of them was making fun of a freshman boy. The old Marcus would have laughed along. But this time, Marcus said, "Cut it out. Man, that's not cool." His friend looked surprised. "Since when do you care?" Marcus glanced across the cafeteria at Jasmine. "Since now," he said. It was a small moment, but it gave Jasmine hope. Maybe this strange plan could work after all. Maybe one person really could make a difference. The day of the first Stand Together club meeting arrived. Jasmine arrived early to set up the classroom. She put chairs in a circle and made name tags. She had cookies and juice that her mother had helped her buy. She was nervous. What if no one came? Ms. Wilson arrived next. "This looks great, Jasmine," she said. "How many people do you expect?" "I don't know," Jasmine admitted. "Maybe 10. I'll be happy if anyone shows up." Marcus arrived 5 minutes late. He looked uncomfortable in the empty classroom. "Is anyone else coming?" he asked. Just then, they heard voices in the hallway. Tasha came in with 3 of her friends. Then came 4 more students. Then a group of 5 freshmen. By the time the meeting was set to start, there were 27 students in the room. They needed more chairs. "Wow," Marcus whispered to Jasmine. "I didn't expect this many people." Jasmine was surprised too. There were popular kids, quiet kids, athletes, and drama club members. There were students from all grades. "Welcome to the first meeting of Stand Together," Jasmine said when everyone was seated. Her voice shook a little. She had never spoken to such a large group before. "We're here to talk about bullying and how to stop it. She told her story. She didn't cry, even when she described how it felt to have the glue poured on her hair. She explained why she had decided to work with Marcus instead of against him. Bullying hurts everyone, she said. It hurts the victims, of course, but it also hurts the bullies, and it hurts the people who watch and do nothing. Then, to everyone's surprise, Marcus stood up. I was wrong, he said. His voice was quiet but clear. What I did to Jasmine was cruel. I thought it was just a joke, but it wasn't funny. It was mean. The room was silent. No one had ever heard Marcus Davis admit he was wrong about anything. I'm here because I want to change, he continued. And I think maybe others do too. After Marcus sat down, other students began to share their stories. A freshman girl talked about being called names because of her weight. A senior boy described being mocked for his accent. A sophomore talked about being pushed around because he was short. As each person spoke, Jasmine noticed something important. Almost everyone in the room had been bullied at some point, and many had also been bullies themselves. So what do we do about it? A junior named Damon asked. We can't just talk. We need to take action. I have some ideas, Jasmine said. She handed out papers with her plan. The plan included making videos about bullying to show during morning announcements, starting a buddy system for new students, and creating a way for students to report bullying without fear. This is good, Ms. Wilson said, but how will you get the whole school involved? Marcus raised his hand. I have an idea, he said. What if we get the football team to wear anti-bullying shirts at the next game? Coach is always talking about respect. I bet he'd support it. Jasmine smiled. This was exactly what she had hoped for. Students coming up with their own ideas, taking ownership of the program. The meeting ran long, and when it ended, students lingered, still talking. Jasmine felt a tap on her shoulder. It was Lily Chen, a quiet girl from her math class. I just wanted to say thank you, Lily said. Last year, someone wrote mean things about me in the bathroom. I was too scared to tell anyone. If this club had existed then, maybe I would have had the courage to speak up. As Jasmine packed up the leftover cookies, she felt a sense of accomplishment. One meeting wouldn't fix everything, but it was a start. After everyone else had left, Marcus stayed behind to help clean up. That went better than I expected, he said. It's just the beginning, Jasmine replied. We have a lot of work to do. Yeah, Marcus agreed. But maybe we can actually make a difference. As they walked out of the school together, neither of them noticed Mr. Roberts watching from his office window. The principal smiled. Sometimes the best solutions came from the students themselves. Over the next month, the Stand Together club grew bigger and stronger. They now had 50 members who met every week. Their anti-bullying posters covered the school walls. The morning announcements included their tips on how to be kind. Jasmine's hair was growing back slowly. It was still very short, but the special treatments from Dr. Bennett were helping. Her scalp no longer hurt, and she had started to like her new look. Some other girls had even cut their hair short too, saying they were inspired by Jasmine's courage. But the biggest change was in Marcus. The boy who had once been the school's worst bully was now leading the fight against bullying. He had convinced the entire football team to wear blue wristbands that said, "Stand Together." When Marcus wore his, other students noticed. It's like watching someone become a whole new person, Tasha said to Jasmine as they watched Marcus help a freshman pick up books that had been knocked out of his hands. People can change if you give them the chance, Jasmine replied. One day, Mr. Roberts called Jasmine and Marcus to his office again. But this time, he wasn't alone. A woman with a camera and a notebook sat across from his desk. This is Ms. Parker from the City News, Mr. Roberts explained. She's heard about your anti-bullying program and wants to write a story about it. Jasmine's eyes widened. A news story about us. Ms. Parker smiled. What you two have done is remarkable. A victim and a bully working together to stop bullying. That's a powerful story that needs to be shared. She interviewed them for an hour, asking about how the club started and what they had accomplished. Jasmine told her about the super glue incident, showing her the short hair that was still growing back. Marcus admitted to being the one who had poured the glue, his face red with shame as he spoke. "And yet you're working together now," Ms. Parker said, looking amazed. "How did that happen?" "Jasmine gave me a second chance when I didn't deserve one," Marcus said. "She could have gotten me expelled. Instead, she helped me become better." "Everyone deserves a chance to change," Jasmine added. "Punishment doesn't always help people learn." The next week, their story was on the front page of the local newspaper. The headline read, "Former bully and victim unite to combat bullying at Lincoln High." There was a picture of Jasmine and Marcus standing in front of their Stand Together banner, both smiling. The article spread online quickly. Other schools in the city contacted them, wanting to start similar programs. A local TV station asked to interview them. Even the mayor sent them a letter of congratulations. "This is getting big," Marcus said, looking overwhelmed as they sat in the library during lunch. "What if I mess it up? What if people find out what I was really like before?" "They already know," Jasmine said gently. "That's part of the story. You were a bully, and now you're not. That's what makes it powerful." Marcus nodded slowly. "My dad read the article," he said. "He was quiet for a long time after. Then he told me he was proud of me. He's never said that before." Jasmine smiled. "See, you're changing more than just the school." That afternoon, as Jasmine walked home, a car slowed down beside her. A woman rolled down the window. "Are you Jasmine Walker?" she asked. Jasmine nodded, feeling nervous. The woman smiled. "My daughter goes to Middle Park School. She was being bullied badly until they started a program like yours. I just wanted to say thank you. You've helped more people than you know." As the car drove away, Jasmine stood on the sidewalk, a warm feeling spreading through her chest. What had started as the worst day of her life had somehow turned into something amazing. Her hair would grow back eventually, but the change she had started would last much longer. That night, she updated the Stand Together social media page with a new message. "Sometimes the worst moments in our lives can lead to the best changes. Don't be afraid to stand up, and don't be afraid to forgive." 3 months after the glue incident, Lincoln High School was a different place. The hallways felt safer. Students smiled more. When someone new came to school, they were welcomed, not teased. The Stand Together Club had changed the school's culture. Jasmine's hair had grown into a cute, short style that many people complimented. Dr. Bennett had helped her scalp heal completely. Sometimes Jasmine still missed her long braids, but she had grown to love her new look. It reminded her of how strong she could be. One morning, Mr. Roberts made a special announcement over the school speakers. "I have exciting news," he said. "Our Stand Together anti-bullying program has been selected for a special award by the State Education Board. Jasmine Walker and Marcus Davis will travel to the state capitol next week to receive it and speak at a conference about bullying prevention." Students cheered in every classroom. Jasmine's face turned red as her classmates patted her on the back. Across the school in his history class, Marcus received high fives from his teammates. "A speech," Jasmine said later when she and Marcus met with Mr. Roberts. "In front of how many people?" "About 500, Mr. Roberts said. "School officials from across the state will be there, plus some politicians and reporters." Jasmine felt sick. She had gotten used to speaking to their club, but 500 strangers. That was terrifying. "We can do this," Marcus said, seeing her fear. "We'll practice together." For the next week, they worked on their speech every day after school. Jasmine wrote most of it, and Marcus added his parts. They practiced in front of their club members, who gave helpful suggestions. "Tell them how it felt," Tasha advised Jasmine. "Make them understand why this matters." And Marcus, Ms. Wilson added, "Tell them honestly why you change. That's the most powerful part of your story." The day of the conference arrived. Jasmine wore a new blue dress her mother had bought for the occasion. Marcus wore a white shirt and tie. They rode to the Capitol with Mr. Roberts, both too nervous to talk much. The conference hall was huge, with rows and rows of chairs. People in business suits filled the room. Cameras flashed. Jasmine's hands shook as she held their speech. "I can't do this," she whispered to Marcus as they waited to be called to the stage. Marcus took a deep breath. "Remember the first day of our club? You were scared then too, but you did it anyway. And look what happened." Jasmine nodded. He was right. Sometimes being brave was just doing the scary thing anyway. When their names were called, they walked to the stage together. The bright lights made it hard to see the audience. Jasmine adjusted the microphone and began. "6 months ago, I was just a normal student trying to get through high school," she said. Her voice shook at first, but grew stronger with each word. "Then one day, a classmate poured super glue on my hair as a prank." She told their story simply and honestly. She talked about the pain, both physical and emotional. She explained why she had chosen forgiveness over punishment. Then Marcus stepped forward. "I was that classmate," he said. The room went completely silent. "I was a bully. I hurt people because I thought it made me powerful. I was wrong." His voice cracked as he continued. "Jasmine could have gotten revenge. Instead, she helped me become a better person. She showed me that real strength isn't about making others feel small. It's about lifting them up." Together, they explained how their club worked and how it had changed their school. They showed pictures and shared stories from other students. When they finished speaking, the room was quiet for a moment. Then one person stood and began to clap. Then another. Soon, the entire audience was on their feet, applauding. As they left the stage, the education secretary shook their hands. "This is exactly what our schools need," she said. "Would you be willing to help us create a statewide program based on your model?" Jasmine and Marcus looked at each other in amazement. Their small club, born from a painful moment, was about to become something much bigger. 1 year had passed since the day Marcus poured super glue on Jasmine's hair. It was hard to believe how much had changed in that time. The Stand Together program was now in 50 schools across the state. Jasmine and Marcus had traveled to many of them, sharing their story and helping students start their own anti-bullying clubs. They had been on local TV shows and had even met the governor, who praised their work. Jasmine's hair had grown back fully. She wore it in a shorter style than before, which she liked better. Sometimes people still recognize her from the newspaper stories, pointing and whispering, "That's the glue girl." But now, the whispers were full of respect, not pity. Marcus had changed the most. The angry boy who bullied others was gone. In his place was a thoughtful young man who spoke to middle school students about why bullying was harmful and how to stop it. His grades had improved too. He was now planning to study education in college, hoping to become a teacher who could help troubled kids. Today was a special day at Lincoln High, the 1-year anniversary of the Stand Together Club. The school gym was decorated with blue balloons and banners. Students from other schools had come to celebrate with them. Mr. Roberts stood at the microphone. "1 year ago, something bad happened in our school," he said. "But Jasmine Walker and Marcus Davis turned that negative event into something amazing." He announced that the school board had approved funding for all schools in the district to have anti-bullying programs like theirs. The crowd cheered loudly. Jasmine sat next to her mother in the front row, feeling proud but also a little sad. This was her last big event at Lincoln High. Next month, she would graduate and go to college. She had received a scholarship to study psychology, inspired by her work helping bullied students. After the speeches, there was a surprise. Tasha and the other club members unveiled a new bench for the schoolyard. It was painted blue and had a plaque that read, "Stand Together, because no one should stand alone." "This is so everyone remembers what started here," Tasha explained. "Long after we graduate, this bench will remind students to be kind to each other." As the celebration ended, Jasmine found a quiet moment to sit on the new bench. Marcus joined her, sitting at the other end. "Did you ever think this would happen?" he asked. "When I poured that glue on your hair, did you ever imagine we'd be here a year later?" Jasmine shook her head. "Never. I thought my life was ruined that day." "Mine too, when I got caught," Marcus admitted. "I was so angry at first. At you. At everyone. I couldn't understand why you wanted to work with me instead of against me." "Do you understand now?" Jasmine asked. Marcus nodded. "I think so. Hate just makes more hate. The only way to really change things is with understanding." They sat quietly for a moment, watching other students enjoy the celebration. "My little sister starts here next year," Marcus said. "Before all this, I was worried about her. Lincoln High wasn't a safe place then. Now I know she'll be okay." Jasmine smiled. "That's the best part of all this. We helped make things better for those who come after us." As they walked back to the gym, Jasmine thought about the journey they had taken. From victim and bully to partners and now friends. From a cruel prank with super glue to a program that helped thousands of students. Her grandmother had been right all along. Your crown may fall, but never your dignity. Jasmine had lost her hair that day, but she had found her purpose. And in doing so, she hadn't just changed herself. She had changed Marcus, their school, and now schools across the state. Sometimes the worst moments in life could lead to the best changes. Sometimes the people who hurt you the most could become unexpected allies. And sometimes, when someone tried to break your spirit, they instead revealed just how strong you truly were.